Plans by governors on the platform of the People's Democratic Party to ensure one of them emerges as the party's presidential candidate may have suffered a setback, Saturday Punch has learned. This, according to findings, is due to the unfriendly utterances by the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, against some of his colleagues, party chieftains, and presidential aspirants in the party. Informed sources believe this might cause disunity among the governors and frustrate their agreement on how the party's candidate would emerge. A correspondent reliably learned that members of the PDP Governors Forum held a secret meeting in Ghana late last year where they sought to agree on the most suitable zoning formula for the party. Majority of the southern governors at the meeting were said to have made a strong case for the ticket to be zoned to the south. But the suggestion was said to have been vehemently rejected by the governors of Sokoto and Bauchi State, Aminu Tambuwa and Bala Mohammed, both of whom have since declared their interest to contest the presidential primary. After failing to reach a consensus on zoning of the ticket to the south, the state's chief executive officers were said to have agreed that a sitting governor should emerge as the party's candidate. According to a top source at the meeting, the leadership of the forum went further to ask those interested in the ticket to signify, and Wike, his counterpart in Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel, and chairman of the forum, Tambuwa, expressed their interest to contest the May 28th and 29th presidential primary. At the moment, Governors Wike, Mohammed, Tambuwa, and Emmanuel are among the 14 aspirants who have obtained the expression of interest and nomination forms. Others include former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate Presidents Pius Ayim and Dr. Bukola Saraki, and former Governors Peter Obi and Ayodele Fayose. A former chairman of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, Sam Ohabuwa, chairman of the Ovation Media Group, and former presidential aspirant Dele Momodu, a female aspirant Miss Oliver Diana Terela, a United States-based medical doctor Nwachukwu Anakweze, and a former chairman and CEO FSB International Bank Mohammed Hayatundi have also signified their intention to vie for the nation's top job. Meanwhile, one of the governors told one of our correspondents that 9 out of the 13 PDP governors were present at the Ghana meeting, saying a key outcome of that meeting was that we agreed that governors on the platform of the party should unite to produce the presidential candidate of the party. There is, however, growing skepticism that the agreement may no longer be feasible due to uncomplimentary statements being made by Wike, who tongue-lashed some notable leaders of the party, including governors. Those he indirectly attacked while declaring his intention to run included Atiku, Saraki, and Tambuwa, all of whom are also in the race for the party's ticket. He accused them of defecting from the party to the ruling All Progressive Congress, which led to the defeat of the PDP in 2015. Though he spoke at the Benue Government House in Makurdi, where he was hosted by Governor Samuel Ortom, his remarks also hit his host, who defected to the APC in 2014 when he lost the PDP governorship ticket. He returned to the PDP in 2018 when it was apparent that he might not get the ticket of the APC to run for a second term. Wike said those who once left the party should no longer consider themselves as founding fathers of the PDP, adding that they had lost their seniority for defecting. He stated, "If you form a company and run away because the company is not doing well, then you find out it is now doing well. Will you want to come and take over? In 2015, those who ran away made us lose the election. Today, they are crying because some of us stood and said the PDP will not die. By the time you ran away, you sold your shares as founding fathers, so you can no longer retain your position as founding fathers. I stood for this party. I've worked for this party since 1998. I have nowhere to run to, and that is why anything that happens to this party, I take it personally. I've never relented." However, a source close to some of the governors and leaders of the party said Most of them were working behind the scene to make sure that Wike would not win the primary. The source said, the conspiracy won't be limited to him. The governors may not even produce the presidential candidate of the party because there is now a division among them with Wike's utterances. Those he abused had visited him and they spoke, but nobody should be deceived. Politicians are fond of doing that. Their smiles or laughter when they are together are not always genuine. Those are just for the camera. Some are not happy with the way Wike is treating the people and talking to his colleagues. See how he spoke to the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. Imagine him asking a deputy governor who his father is. The PDP is aware that winning the party's ticket may not translate to winning the general election. That is why money alone will not determine who wins the party's presidential primary. So, that Ghana agreement is now severely under threat. If the unity among the governors is still very strong, they can have their way because they fund the parties and they can influence the delegates from their states. There were also insinuations among some party members that Wike could muzzle other aspirants to either have his way or even win the ticket if it was zoned to the south. He's not yet the candidate and is already talking down on leaders of the party and other governors. What happens if he wins the ticket? A member of the party's board of trustees wondered. The schedule of party activities released by the party's national organizing secretary Umar Bature showed that the presidential primary would hold on May 28th and 29th, the governorship primary on May 21st, House of Representative primary on May 12th. Its candidate for the Senate will emerge on May 14th, while those for the House of Assembly will be selected on May 7th. The Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed April 4th to June 3rd for party primaries, warning that it will adhere strictly to the timetable. It has fixed February 25th, 2023 for the presidential and National Assembly elections and March 11th, 2023 for the governorship and houses of assembly elections. Where a political party fails to comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act in the conduct of its primaries, its candidate shall not be included in the election for the particular position in issue, INEC had said in a statement on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Saturday Punch learned that some statutory delegates were mounting an intense pressure on Atiku to promise a single term to placate southern delegates and guarantee his victory in the forthcoming primary. According to Bature, the PDP candidate will emerge on May 29th at the end of the Special National Convention presidential primary that will start a day earlier. Atiku has been meeting with the statutory delegates ahead of the PDP primary next month. One of his campaign offices and a statutory delegate from the South said, "The South is angry. The people want power to shift to the South after the disastrous outing of President Muhammadu Buhari. However, because we are not a ruling party, we may not be able to zone that position. For us, it is about how best to win the election. That was what we did in Rivers State in 2015 when we picked Wike as our candidate, even though he's from the same area as his predecessor, Rotimi Amechi. So one of the things we are telling Alhaji Atiku is to consider a single term. If they know it is just for 4 years, they will make it easier for us to sell his candidacy to the South. It will be a semblance of what Nelson Mandela did in South Africa. He served for 1 term and made his mark. In any case, after that 1 term, by 2027, age will no longer be on his side." Atiku, who has become a veteran of presidential elections, should be able to tell Nigerians that he will be a 1-term president if he wins. Anything short of this will be disastrous for him and the North. Another source close to the former vice president confirmed that some of his supporters were speaking to him to consider the 1-term suggestion. The source noted, in 2015, Atiku said it is only once that he would be a 1-term president if he won. After that, he was silent on it. Now he has to promise to be the Mandela of Nigeria if he wins the primary. That will make things easier for them. If he agrees, then we can be rest assured that we'll have many converts among the delegates and even among Nigerians who will vote in the general elections. Already, the majority of the statutory delegates are with us. We're trying to win ad hoc and national delegates to our side, but Atiku needs to come out openly to speak on this.